Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando, and I just been asked to do a video on the Demons of the Ruinstorm release. So this was dropped by accident by Games Workshop a little earlier than expected. And they've given us an updated set of rules for the Demons of the Ruinstorm. And well, let's kind of go through it. My thoughts on this are relatively good. You know, I think it's a relatively positive release. I'd like to see more things like this, more army lists. I think this is something that is relatively easy to kind of put out, as long as they come with a foreword that, you know, they're not exactly balanced, they haven't been play tested as thoroughly as the mainline release armies. If you're going to use them in tournaments, please discuss it with your tournament organisers before you play, because they may want to balance it, they may want to say yay or nay, you know, sorry, it's far too broken. But, you know, I would quite happily see 2 or 3 sort of documents like this, you know, things like black shields, different regiments of notable regiments, the Solar Auxiliary and Imperial Militia, specific formations in the legions themselves, so you could get specific army lists. Even Xenos factions, you know, the Orcs, the Eldar would be really, really easy to put both of those into the Heresy through army lists like this, with very little change needed to their rules. What I like about this is that is very similar to what I like about Heresy in general, and that is that it gives us a lot of options. You know, you may take loads of different weapons, different upgrades, all these, you know, different demon conduits, whatever you want to call them. And that's kind of cool. The downside is that it becomes very meta, everyone always takes the same ones, but when I play these sorts of armies, I always try to pick something that's fluffy over something that's effective. You know, I'm not sort of like, hey, everyone's going to have rending because that's the best thing to give everyone. I like that, you know, they're very generic. You know, it's a demon harbinger, it's, you know, a demon hierarch, a demon sovereign. It gives us some interesting ideas, and it doesn't just tie us down. If this had just been like, you can have a Lord of Change, you can have a Great Unclean One, you can have a Bloodthirster, it would have been a much more boring army list. So I think this is a good release. What was bad about it was the fact that we didn't get to see any really cool studio conversions. You know, we didn't throw... you know, the whole article could have had loads of really cool conversions. Oh, here's Steve from the studio's Demon Brutes, and they're all made up from, like, I don't know, the new ogre, what are they called? Gorgers. But he's, like, sculpted horns on them and stuff. Or they're all made up from really cool bits from the Slaanesh Head Knights from Age of Sigmar. Those are the sorts of things that I would like to see more of, because simply just recycling the same kind of 4 kits from Forge World, with the Brutes, with Carbanda, with Samus, that sort of thing, it gets old fast. It's obvious that you guys don't want to do a whole release, but you know, having something at least would be nice. And if it's going to be an army that is supported by people making their own models, then let people make their own models. Show them, give them some inspiration. I mean, White Dwarf, during its, what is it, 500 issues run, it's probably more than that nowadays, was always filled with stuff like that. It's like, here's this great big fly demon prince we've made. It's 60% green stuff. Those things sparked people's imagination. They made people collect huge armies of really weird and wonderful things. I like that these are all over the place, from size-wise. You've got smaller things, you've got flyers, you've got cavalry, greater beasts, gargantuan beasts. This is all really cool. I like this. I do like this a lot. The only thing that is missing from this that I can really think of is a guide for modelling. Now, someone did put one out on the Age of Darkness, or Crusade and Heresy, I think it is, Age of Darkness forum, Discord, I think. Or it might have been Reddit, I can't remember, I saw it briefly earlier today, where he basically went, oh, this is a Demon Brute, here are the models we'd recommend you use for Demon Brutes. Oh, these are the Demon Cavalry, these are the models we'd recommend for using the Demon Cavalry. That sort of thing, if you're going to do an army like this, definitely would be something that Games Workshop could learn from. So showing people, hey, this is kind of what we want, you know, this is what we picture a Demon of the Ruinstorm army to look like, and let their imaginations run wild, basically. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints about this. This is a solid release. It just needs to be kept updated, it needs to be FAQ'd, it needs to be balanced. It needs to be put into a book at some point, realistically. Because, you know, people shouldn't just have to worry about PDF rules. Either make all the rules PDFs, or, you know, make sure everything's in the books they should be. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I could have done more on this. I could have talked about the different modelling types and the models you can use for this, but I think a lot of that's going to be down to personal choice, really. I think it's going to be very much what do you want your army to look like. Remember, at this point, the gods were more united than they are in 40k. So there's a lot less mono-god looking demons. So if I was to do it, I would stay away from the kind of the 3 primary or 4 primary colour-y kind of green, blue, pink and red. I think what I'd like to do is something that's like what I was picturing and planning on doing for a while back was things like bloodthirsters, or sorry, bloodletters, but take the horns off, swap their arms out for something else, but then sculpt on like loads of hair so they look like big hairy backs, just to make them look really, really scary, and different, and you know, demonic. I quite like a lot of the Slaneshi stuff from Age of Sigmar for them. The what's it called? The Head Knights or whatever. Warcry warband that's just about to come out, or has just come out, with the big fat dude with the spear as one of them. That looks really cool, and I'd love to use that as a brute or something. I think that would work really, really well. I like the brute models themselves. Maybe I'll do a Demons army, I don't know. I don't have any plans at the moment to do a Demons army. It's always a possibility, but honestly, if I've got the money to do a Demons army, I'd be probably spending it on more Marines. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Demon PDF, really. It's okay, it's not shit. It's not completely life-changing. I can't comment on the balance of it. I can't comment on the rules. I can't tell you if this is a good rule or that's a bad rule. I simply don't know the rules well enough myself. I've never been someone who can memorise rules. I can't tell you what the AP of a weapon is. I can't tell you if AP 3 is better than AP 1. Because I just simply can't ever remember that. Because of my retardedness, I struggle to remember those things. I have to refer to the books. I can tell you that range 12 is better than range 6, because that's pretty easy to remember. But yeah, so I can't tell you if, this option A is better than option B. But what I'm saying is the fact we've got a lot of options here, the fact that this is left relatively open-ended for you, seems pretty good to me. It means as a modeler and a painter, I've got a lot of freedom to do what I want here. So that's my view on the Demon release. Are you guys going to collect a Demon army? Have you got a Demon army? What would you like to see in the future from other PDF army releases? Is there anyone or anything in particular you'd really like to see. But like for me, I'd love to see a Legion of the Damned. You know, that proto Legion of the Damned, War of the Webway, Flaming Skull Ferris. I think that'd be a really cool army. And I don't know. I could see myself doing that as an army list at some point, or doing it as a small army, picking up Ferris. You know, doing some really cool sculpting to just give the flaming crown or whatever it is he's described as having, and then loads of Marines with just bones and fire and stuff. I think it could be quite fun to work on. So anyway, that's it. There you go. You get 2 videos today. Aren't you guys spoilt rotten? My name is Bando. This is Brexit Bando. I was asked why I don't pronounce my words the same as Chapter Master Valrak. For those of you who aren't from the UK and don't know, we're basically at opposite end of the country, so our accents are very different. He's up north and I'm down south. So yeah, that's why I don't pronounce things like he does, obviously. So yeah, thank you for watching, as always, guys. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and all the other YouTube dross that you have to talk about. You can always use my Element Games code, which is down in the description, and you can also find me over on Rumble. Just search Brexit Bando, and I'm also on Instagram, which you can come and find me at. The link's in the description for that as well. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye bye.